All right. So before I call it a night, let's go ahead and have a discussion about the state of the toy industry and how we're feeling about things right now.
Yeah.
So why don't you start?
So yeah, the toy industry's in pretty bad shape, which is for somebody who's spent his whole life collecting toys and action figures. It's pretty distressing. Distressing. I went to Target last weekend, and I go to the toy department, and it's almost. I want to say it's at least 75% just empty space.
Yeah.
There's nothing there, and I realize that it's still pretty close to after Christmas they haven't had a chance to restock. But the thing is, even during the Christmas season, they were still pretty. They never really stocked up for Christmas. They just kind of ran with what they had already.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's the same where you are, but it's gotten really hard to find toys. Toys R Us is closed down,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of stuff that's getting produced that's just not making its way to stores. You're just not finding it.
We need Toys R Us back. Somebody with the capital needs to realize that that is a need that needs to be filled. That is a market that is not being satisfied, and it's like I said before. Last time we talked about it, Toys R Us was actually making profits when they closed it. It was Bain Capital, bunch of bottom feeders that
Mm-hmm.
bought that company out so they could just slap the debt on it and kill it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I hope all those people get COVID. But anyway,
Stores they reopened.
what now?
I don't know if you caught that. There were two stores that actually reopened. There was one in New Jersey and one in Texas, and
No,
they just passed this past weekend. They closed those down.
they closed
Yeah.
down.
Oh yeah, I'll have to send you the article about that.
Oh,
So their big comeback kind of. I think it had a lot to do with COVID. They just weren't getting the foot
yeah.
traffic in the store, and so those two stores have been shut down. But
Because of COVID, maybe they can try again later. But
yeah,
that's just.
that's the report did say that they were going to try again later, but
I hope so. I really do. Like Mandalorian, as we've already discussed, got a lot of us really excited about Star Wars again. And I know that sounds like a non sequitur, but it's really not. I'm getting to the point. Uh, so recently, I'd been looking for some Star Wars toys. Hey, look, there's one. Yeah,
I
he
got
was
an interesting story about this guy.
so I'm sure you've seen the videos that I did where I unboxed the Han Solo and the Chewbacca action figures. That one of them I found in a comic book store, Galactic Quest in Buford. For anybody who's local to me, that's the one I found it at. And and then Chewbacca, I basically ordered right after I opened up the Han Solo, and I was like, well, I got Han Solo, I gotta have Chewbacca. Went and looked on Amazon, found one for a decent price. So then I got those. But the thing is like I've been going to brick and mortar stores trying to find what Star Wars I can, and there's nothing. There's nothing like I mean like you talk about the toy shelves being kind of bare right now, but even in terms of like Star Wars stuff, like I can't. There's no 3 3/4 inch figures hardly. Like I
None.
saw one
They
three and three
they
quarter inch figure, and it was a battle droid.
they exist, but they almost never show up in stores.
Yeah, and it's
Uh,
crazy. And they got
yeah,
these little mini figure things that they look like
that,
Imaginext, but they're not in the same scale as if they were the same size as Imaginext, I'd buy them because I collect Imaginext.
yeah, yeah.
But I don't like them because they're too small.
So if you go to a brick and mortar store, one of the big retailers like Target or Walmart, and you ask them about this, what they'll say is that the
Mhm.
toys aren't selling, and that's
Yeah.
why they don't stock them. But what happens is that if you go in, if you're somebody like me who's actively hunting for these things, I love them. I have small kids; they like to play with them. If you're actively hunting for them and you go to the store and there are none there,
Yeah.
you can't buy them, so the toys haven't sold.
Yeah.
It's impossible to sell something you don't have.
Yeah. Where
And
I can make like a
look at
fortune selling gold and diamonds and
yeah,
stuff
yeah.
I don't have.
You know, you look at the Star Wars Black Series is a good example because it's obviously really popular if you look at the secondary market.
Yeah.
But these figures just do not show up in stores. They produce them. There are more that they've made than I even know existed. I surprise myself every time I go on one of the the big websites that carry these toys and I look for them and like, wow, they made that guy. I had no idea. Like I'm somebody who's actively hunting for this stuff and I had no idea it existed because it never shows up in the stores.
Yeah.
You know, I mentioned about this. This was a gift from my wife for Christmas. This is the the early Mandalorian before he gets his Beskar armor.
Yeah.
This is the only one I've been able to find ever. She ordered him online, so I've never seen him in stores, never.
Mm-hmm.
And regularly, I'm somebody who goes to Target or Walmart practically every day, and can't find these things. And it was a full year since he had been produced and been released. It was a full year before I was able to get my hands on one.
Yeah.
And if you go on and you look at sites like eBay or even Amazon, they have secondary market retailers that sell their stuff on Amazon, and the prices on this stuff is just through the roof.
Yeah.
I've seen the Mandalorian for as high as $80-$90 at some point. So there are people who want to buy them so much that they're willing to spend these prices, but you can't find them at retail because they're just not making their way to stores.
I mean, that proves there's a market for it. You would think that somebody would want to fill that market.
Exactly. Yeah, the secondary market's kind of booming on these things. The prices are sky high because people can't find them in the stores and they're willing to pay those secondary market prices. So, this is another one. This is a new 6-inch G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. It's a super cool figure. My kids are really into G.I. Joe. But
in the stores.
Yeah, I've never seen a single G.I. Joe figure from this line in stores. Mm-hmm. And, some people will probably try to argue that, well, kids aren't into G.I. Joe. They don't know who G.I. Joe is. My kids love G.I. Joe. They can't find them because there are no toys in stores. There's no cartoon on TV. But, I showed them my collection and they absolutely love them. They beg me for them. Mm-hmm. And it would be nice to be able to walk into a store and show my kids these things, and they pick out the ones they want. We bring them home. The store's made a profit, and they've made a couple kids happy, but that's not happening. So,
I remember when we were kids, and you go into Toys R Us, and it'd just be like hundreds of pegs full of GI Joe.
Yeah. I get misty eyed explaining this to my kids, like going into Toys R Us back in the early '80s when we were kids, was like walking through the gates of heaven. It was nothing toys. Yeah, floor to ceiling, and kept stuff in the back room. I don't remember as a kid ever being told that there was something in Toys R Us that was sold out. They had it.
Yeah.
And their prices were cheaper than everyone else because they bought in such huge volume they could afford to, sell it for cheaper.
Yep.
For decades, Toys R Us was mismanaged, so they've obviously had a problem with that. Before they went out of business, they were kind of had a reputation of being a little too pricey. But that's another symptom of what's going on with the industry right now.
Yeah. Well, I think part of that is because like Walmart, if you can find it at Walmart, it was usually cheaper at Walmart.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if people really didn't think about that too much though towards the end though, because Toys R Us had wiped out all the competition. There wasn't any more Lionel Play World. There wasn't any more KB Toys. There was just Toys R Us. That was it. So it's like then of course, they seem more expensive because there's nobody for them to be cheaper than. Of course, Walmart's going to have it for cheaper because they're Walmart.
Well, Walmart has so many stores and they have so much capital. They're able to buy in bigger volume so they can do what Toys R Us used to do back in the day, is undercut everybody else's prices.
Exactly. So, but I remember back in the day, like when KB Toys was still around, it would be the sort of thing where KB Toys was generally more expensive than Toys R Us, generally speaking. Of course, they'd have their big bin of bargain action figures that was like cheap as hell, and like you could usually get like even a lot of the newer Marvel figures out of that bin if you were reaching it. Like not the latest wave, but like a couple of waves back.
KB thing was that they were a closeout store. So, when Toys R Us ended up with too much stock that couldn't move anymore, they'd sell it to KB for cheap, and KB would throw it out there for less than it was selling at Toys R Us.
Yeah. It's crazy that like KB actually got to the point where like they were doing well enough selling stuff like that they would actually buy stuff from that was custom made for them by Toy Biz, like the Marvel Universe packaging and everything like that. And it might have been like a lot of it might have been overstock that Toy Biz already had, but a lot of it was like newer figures. Like it was mostly repaints and things, but like I remember those 10-inch Marvel figures, they'd have characters like Daredevil and, that never got made for any of the other lines. They'd get like exclusive figures and things like that. It was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Here's another one you know all about. This guy right here.
Yeah.
So somebody who's not a toy collector watching this video probably won't realize, but there's a new He-Man toy line. This is not one of the vintage ones. This is one of the brand new ones that came out. Within the past, 6 months or so. How long have these been out? Probably not even.
I think they started to hit like maybe around like sometime last summer, was it?
Yeah. So maybe 6 months.
Maybe last.
But I love this guy, and the thing is, I've only seen him once in the store. This very exact figure. He's never been. They don't get to see him hanging on the pegs like I did when I was a kid because he's not there.
He-Man and Skeletor are pretty common out here, and like the rest of the first wave is not that hard to find. It's not anywhere near as common as He-Man and Skeletor are, but it's not impossible for me to go into a Walmart and find, say, Man-at-Arms or Beast-Man or Teela or something.
Yeah.
But He-Man and Skeletor are like all over the place. Like I could probably go into any Walmart or any Target right now, and at least there'll be a half dozen of each.
Yeah.
That's how many there are.
Not the same situation here. They've been pretty much impossible to find. And you notice I don't have his accessories. That's because my kids are playing with them, and I have no idea where they are right now.
We lost them.
Yeah, they're not lost. They're here. They're just.
Here's what I've done with mine. Is you can see I have the vintage style head from Battle Armor He-Man that I put on there, and also this is a vintage style harness. This is one from I think a commemorative, like from around 2000 when they put that out. Because I felt like that was a little more old school, so that's how I've got my He-Man geared up right now. But I still got him with the Alcala Power Sword, because I like that one, and I still have him with the.
Here's another
from the classic or the Origins.
I know you customize them. If anybody's watched your videos, they know all about this. But these guys are actually designed to come apart.
Oh yeah,
and you can mix and match pieces, and that's something my kids are totally into right now. They buy, the Mega Bloks, Halo. Call of Duty. They even have Mega Bloks Masters of the Universe figures, and they love taking them apart and recombining them to make different figures.
Yeah, and when I got the ones for my nephews, they were having a blast doing that too.
Yeah.
So,
I think they've really got something here. They just need to stock them.
Yeah.
You said they're more common in your area, but the thing is, I just saw a link last night in one of the Masters of the Universe Facebook groups specifically for this line. Somebody posted that they had Scareglow, the evil ghost of Skeletor, up for sale on one of the big websites. I want to say it was Amazon. And I clicked on the link and it was $95. This is a figure that just started shipping just this past month.
Yep.
And retail for, I don't know, what's the retail on these? $14.99?
$15, yeah.
Yeah, $15, and he's selling for $95, and he was sold out. They sold out at $95.
Yeah. If you go and you look at the Amazon website, there you can find, like I said, like pretty much the whole first wave for about $15, like any of those characters. Yeah. But after that, it's like you got that markup. So I've been checking to see, because I almost always have like at least a few dollars in Amazon gift cards. Yeah. So it's I'm always prepared to snap one up when I find one, but I haven't seen any offered so far for retail price for any of the later waves. Like I had pre-ordered Scareglow on Amazon, but then they wound up canceling it because they said, oh, we don't have enough stock of that figure to support the pre-order. And I'm like, well, what's the point of a pre-order then?
Yeah.
How do you cancel a pre-order because you don't have enough stock? You do the pre-order so that you know how much stock to buy.
Yeah.
Cover your pre-order. At least that's the way that ought to work. I don't know what you guys.
Yeah.
What the point? What the point? I don't understand what the point. I can't even use proper grammar because I'm so confused. Why no pre-order? Me pre-order a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one thing to be an adult collector who's into these things and not be able to find them. And a lot of people will argue. I've had it happen online where I'll mention this and people were like, "Well, you can just go and pre-order it." Like that's fine, but it's kind of not. It defeats the whole purpose of it. It takes all the fun out of it.
I like the thrill of the hunt. I like going and finding things.
The thrill of the hunt. You want to go into the stores and be able to find these things. And like I said, it's one thing to be an adult collector and not be able to find them. But imagine being a kid and not being able to find this stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot harder for a kid. I'm a parent. It's harder for a kid to argue, hey, with your parent, hey, mommy and daddy, I need this new action figure. It's harder to do that when it's on a website than it is when you're holding it in your hand in the store. Look, mom, buy me this. Dad, I need this. They can't even do that because this stuff never makes it to the shelves.
And I don't want to say like that kind of thing didn't happen back then, because I remember say like when superpowers were about to come out and I saw them advertised in the comic book, and that had me scouring the stores trying to find these new superhero action figures that I really wanted. Or say when one of the kids from school brought in his new Luke Skywalker action figure from Revenge of the Jedi. And, he had this cool black outfit, and I'm like, a green lightsaber, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta find that one. Scouring stores trying to find this new Luke Skywalker figure from. Wait a minute, they changed the name of it. Now it's called Return of the Jedi. Whatever. I still want that Luke Skywalker action figure. It looks so cool. And so it's not like we didn't have to hunt for things back then, but eventually we found them.
Yeah.
Eventually they showed up, and the thing is like those Star Wars action figures. It wasn't like the sort of thing where it's like they had the assortment once for a couple of months and then it was gone forever.
Yeah.
Like, they had the same Luke Skywalker figure from 1977 was still on the pegs in 1986. Whenever it was that they stopped making Star Wars figures. So,
that's the other thing. As a collector, if you don't buy it when you see it, you don't get it because they don't ever go back.
Yeah. So,
I had mentioned on one of your videos, you're talking about wanting to get all of the main characters from the original Star Wars. And I had mentioned, I don't know if you saw my comment, that I missed out on R2-D2 because, he was part of the first assortment and he's a major character. And he was kind of a peg warmer at first. There were a bunch of them. Then all of a sudden they just disappeared. And I figured, at some point, they'll put out another R2-D2, and they never have. They have never done it.
Peg warmer at first.
Yeah.
That's I kind of figure people maybe put a lower priority on R2-D2, but you're gonna want to have R2-D2 because he's such a major character. He might not be as flashy or sexy as a Luke or a Leia or a Darth Vader or Boba Fett, whatever, but he's still like essential. You still need to have R2-D2. Like I wasn't even really collecting those figures like at all at the time, which is why I missed out on it, and I wound up you'll see it when I get it. I ordered a bootleg R2-D2 that looks like he's about the same size. And I'm like, it'll look fine on the shelf. I don't think he has a third leg, but whatever. The original R2-D2 figure didn't have a third leg. I'll deal with it.
Here's the strange thing about the R2-D2 situation is that I'm pretty sure I have at least 4 different versions of C-3PO. So they brought it back out, or for some reason no R2-D2s. I've got the one that my wife just bought me. I can't find him. I don't know where he went. Oh, here he is. That one.
Yeah.
Blown apart C-3PO that comes with Chewbacca. I've got the classic one, the first one they put out, with the silver leg. I've got the Force Awakens version with the red arm. And then I've got the, I believe it's the, I don't know if they did it in Last Jedi. In one of the sequel movies, they repaired his legs, so he's got 2 gold legs. So I have that version also.
Yeah.
But no R2. So, you know.
And then when I was at Hobby Lobby, I saw a model kit of R2-D2 that would be about in scale with that.
Yeah.
But it was like $30, and it comes with BB-8, and I'm like, I don't give a
But like you were saying,
I would much rather spend $15 on just R2-D2 himself than $30 on R2-D2 and some other thing that I just don't care about.
Yeah. When we were kids, you know, HeMan came out in 82?
Mm-hmm.
The 82?
Yeah.
But you know, if you're, you know, growing up in that time, you never got a He-Man right up until probably, I don't know, at least 1987, 89. You could probably go to the store and find a He-Man if you never had one, or if you needed to replace one, and that doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And
this little flash on the package that said the original.
Yeah.
The figure was probably there for the parents' benefits. So when the kid's like, no, I want the original He-Man. Like, oh, got a big flash on it that says the original. That must be the one that he wants. So,
and then you get, you know, certain characters.
He-Man before he had that little flash on his package.
Oh.
Wow, that sounded dirty. Okay.
But then you know, you get other characters. The other situation is that there are certain characters you want multiples of, like stormtroopers, or a soldier, and you know, a lot of times with Star Wars, it hasn't been too much of a problem because they keep putting out new versions of stormtroopers at least. So you could build a pretty, you know, you can't really do that with unless you know, like I say, pre-order them online in bulk ahead of time, because after they're gone, you won't see them again.
So, yeah, it's like, I think that's kind of part of the reason like I didn't get that into the Black series to begin with, is because like, you know, you're talking like $20 figures, and it's like, am I gonna want to army build $20 figures? Like, because I like having a bunch of stormtroopers, and it's fairly easy to do with 3 3/4 inch, but with 6-inch figures, well, maybe could get like 3 or 4 of them at most.
Yeah, right. So. Well, but then again, here's one other problem with the toy industry today is that the 4-inch figures, the 3 3/4 inch figures, they're getting pretty the same price as the 6-inch figures.
Like, you know, you're talking maybe like $15 for a 3 3/4 inch figures and $20 for a 6-inch figure. It's like, is that even cost effective anymore? I don't even know.
Yeah.
All this stuff needs to be cheaper.
I remember for a long time, the argument was that, well, you know, plastics are made out of petroleum and oil is really expensive. But, you know, we just went through a period, I'm pretty sure we're still in it, where petroleum prices are at historic lows.
Yeah.
And, you know,
that you would cost the plastic getting any cheaper, though, has it?
No, it has not. Not according to toy industries. They've only gotten more and more expensive. So, what are you going to do? Anyway, tough time for a toy collector.
What are you going to do indeed? So, all right. On that note, I think that's about time to wrap this one up.
Yep.
So I'm sure we'll have a lot more complaining about toys to do in the future. So stay tuned. All right. Have a good night.